from Valo, the new High Republic middle grade book by Daniel Jose Older and Alicia Wong.
I
Uh,
just I just want to say, if you want to go completely blank into this book, skip ahead because Alberto's terrible with spoilers.
wow, wow. I even wrote stuff down to try to not spoil.
Okay,
There's
that's it.
an analogy I was going to make at one point was going to be too big of a spoiler, so I'm not going to do it. But so spoiler review on the Radio Rebellion website. You can read our spoiler review there. So here we have Ram Jomaran, the Jedi Padawan from that Daniel Jose Older brought to life in a bunch of his stories. So after the fall of Starlight Beacon, and this is I'm telling you the first chapter, so this is not really spoilers. This is in the back of the book, and so when Yoda makes that call for all the Jedi to come back to Coruscant after the fall of Starlight in Midnight Horizon, Ram says, "You know what? I think I'd be a better help in my home planet of Valo. I gotta go help them out." That now, I guess, came back after the Republic Fair. The Jedi won, but they had to go do other stuff. That now came back, and now they're occupying Valo and Lonisa City. So Ram's there as the Scarlet Skull from Midnight Horizon, that little band of murderers that him and Reed kind of played with. He joins with three Jedi younglings, I should say, which you'll see on the cover: Gavi, Tildo, and Tep Tep. And they're joined by a young pirate in training, Sal Kim. So that's the main group. Being a middle grade book, most of the characters are between 12 and 16 years of age, which are the people that are going to be reading this book. So it's great that both Danielle and Alyssa decided to have those characters in that age. So people that are reading, all the young kids that are reading this book, feel related to those characters. As always, Danielle and Alyssa are great bringing representation to the LGBTQ community. So as you can expect, that's here in the book, and it's done in a fantastic way. It's not just, oh yeah, let me just write a gay character for the sake of it. No, there's a story with them. And it makes sense, and you feel for those characters. So again, kids that are reading this are going to feel connected to those characters, and that's always something great. Being a middle grade book, don't expect that this something big is going to happen that's going to connect to the whole story. But again, it's a middle grade book. There might be something at the end. Again, I don't want to spoil that, but it can be explained in one or two sentences or paragraphs in one of the adult books. But anyway, condensed story, extremely easy read. If you're a fast reader, you'll read this in 4 or 5 hours. It took me like 3 days just going step by step. But it's a very easy read. It's a cool story that you want to keep reading. Cool characters. Some of them could have been developed a little bit more, but the ones that focus on Ram, Gavi, are the ones that you spend more time with. So those are developed pretty good. We get a lot. The main villain, Nif Drendov, he's been shown on the High Republic, not shows, from some of the reports they've done. This new Baron Bulan's apprentice, this young scientist, has a little nameless.
Really?
Yeah. So he's the main bad guy. He has a
A
little
baby
nameless.
level up?
He has a name, so it's no longer nameless. I'm not gonna spoil the name, but he's got a name.
A baby
Um,
level up?
it is a baby leveler, still gross and still hurting Jedi.
I love
Um,
the leveler.
this is such a great kind of idea. I'm still surprised by it. If you're a fan of the High Republic Adventure comic line, I think you're gonna enjoy this book a lot more. If you read the Phase 2, a lot of they come back, that pirate gang. So like Therm Scissor Punch and the Dan Granks and Dexter, they're there just so, hey, we're here. Okay, we gotta go do something else. And that's, I'm sure that story's gonna happen in the comic books, and they might connect with this story. So if you're someone that reads everything, then yeah, go ahead and read it. It's not something that, oh, am I gonna miss something if I don't read this book? Not really. But if you wanna stay connected with those characters, or just, hey, I want a fast read, then yeah, go ahead and get this book.
I
So
I did
mhm,
not read the Phase 2 Young Reader books, but I read the Phase 1, and I really liked them.
yeah,
What I tell people is like, they're not as childish as you think they're
no,
gonna
no,
be. And they're also not as important as you mentioned. Like, they
mhm,
usually get summarized in
yeah.
one paragraph in one of the books. So do the YA, by the way. But it really helps flesh out the story. Like
Mhm.
I still love Test of Courage. Like
That's my
I thought that
favorite
was
one so far.
it's and I like it more than some of the YA books in High Republic. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I'm excited to read it. I just haven't gotten to it.
no, so it's like all great Star Wars book. Doesn't matter if it's a middle grade, young, adult, or adult novel. It's the stories, right? You can just can't write a book and say, yeah, this is Star Wars. It needs to have that Star Wars feel, and this has it. That found family. There's some great conversations about attachments, about compassion. What does that mean for a Jedi? How you move past them, and it's great when it comes from young kids which are going through these life-changing experiences. It's great to see that. So in that point, like you just said, might not connect to the whole bigger overarching story, but there's so great one-on-one moments in all the middle grade, and it's the same here. So don't say, it's middle grade, I'm not gonna buy it. It's a good story with good Star Wars moments, so check it out. But
If
if you
you
just want to focus on the adult ones, then you're not missing.
if you if you can't get enough of the High Republic, jump into these. They're fun.
Yeah, they're very fun. And you don't have to have read everything else to understand it. They kind of, yeah, Starlight Beacon fail. What's that? I don't care. There's a story here. Just
Mm-hmm.
read that one. So go check it out. Escape from Valo came out a couple of weeks ago, and
Come
I
out
give
last
it.
week.
All right, yeah, last week I gave it like I think 3.5, 3.75 stars out of 5. Good stuff out there from Daniel, Jose Older, and Alicia Wong.
Hermano Cubano.
Uh huh. All right.